Good morning, and Happy New Year. I know technically New Year's Day was yesterday, but first coffee of the new year, first coffee video anyway, definitely not the first cup of coffee. But continuing on with the tradition of coffee every Friday. And as you can tell, we're still in the process of working on this, but got my new backdrop up, at least one of them. I've got a few to play with now and then. Poe is here, and he's got his own fun little table, so a big thank you to Steve for getting that for us. Welcome to the first coffee video of this year. I hope you guys had a great and safe New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and that you're already getting a good start on whatever your resolutions or your goals are for this year. I mentioned that I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I always have preferred goals. I think it's, for me, easier to work towards something, set milestones, and just kind of make progress versus trying to maintain something, because I feel like once I have that bad day, that kind of struggle day, I tend to fall off the wagon. I go, well, that was it. I gave it my best shot. It's not done. Now it's done. It's not there anymore. So it's easier for me to go, okay, little setback, keep pushing forward, get back on track. So that's the way I operate. And so I have this entire list of things that I've been working on. Every month I always have to-do lists, things, if nothing else, just to keep me on track. Remind me, okay, you've got the newsletter due on the 20th. You've got the videos every week. Make sure you're getting the playlist. The playlist is going up. I'll be putting up a link to a song every week on Facebook. I think Don't Stop Me Now by Queen was, because I was blasting that yesterday. It feels like a good start the year, got the power, got the motivation kind of song. So I think that's the one going up later today. I'll have it up. I was trying to pin it on my post, but for whatever reason my profile is old and it won't let me pin it. So if I get that updated, I'll have it pinned. Otherwise, I'll just put it on a post at the top of the screen. But I've got a lot of things I'm working on. I'm working on, like everybody, I'm working on paying off some bills, and I'm working on getting kind of caught up. And God help me, I did my projection for all the costs for travel. I've got a bunch of signings this year. Thankfully for me, a couple of them are right actually here in Las Vegas, so I'm excited for that one. I'm going to be at Book Lovers Con. That'll be my first time here going to that one. That will be, I believe it's the last weekend in March. I gotta double check that, but it's right around my birthday. It's right around March 23rd is my birthday, and I believe it's the weekend right after, the 26th through the 29th. So don't quote me. I'll double check that. I'll get it up there. But Book Lovers Con, it's at the Flamingo right here in Las Vegas, so I'm excited for that one. Get to sleep in my own bed instead of having some sort of hotel adventure, which, as some of my friends who were with me off and on this past year can attest, I had some questionable choices this past year. So I'll be doing a little more research coming up. But because of that also means that I won't be just jumping on the best bargain, the cheapest price I can find. I will be looking for places with a little bit better reviews, might cost a little bit more, but I also want to make sure that I'm safe and I'm staying in a place that, doesn't have uninvited roommates. I did have that problem in Atlantic City. I had some cockroaches in my room. It was creepy. It was awful. Thankfully, only one night, but it was a bad situation. So I will not be hopefully dealing with that this year. The other big one here in Las Vegas, of course, is the Las Vegas Book Festival. I did it last year, and once again, I've been planning to be there with Deanna Frederick and SG Tosh. We have a great time together. Three girls all hanging out, having a little fun with our dystopian. Deanna writes dystopian and sci-fi. Sarah does dark fantasy. And hi, Mom. Good morning, or good afternoon for you. But yes, I will be there with. By then, hopefully, I want to say all 5 of the books coming out this year. Well, all 5 books in the Sim series. So Lust, which comes out February, and then Wrath should be out in August, so by October I should have them there. which also means for those of you that I will be seeing in Salem again this year, yes, I will be back in Salem. I will have all 5 there as well. So we're definitely got a lot going with the Sin series. And you will have Poe. Poe, of course, will be with me every step of the way. We've got Seattle, we've got Dallas, we've got Hershey. The little kid in me is very excited to go to Books and Chocolate, even if it is Pennsylvania in November, and that means tempting snow. But I've got a lot going on. Authors and Dancers. I will be back at Authors and Dancers this year for those who have seen me before. And yes, I am not only signing on Saturday, but I will be performing again in the recital on Friday. So to my knowledge, I'm still the only author that does that. That doesn't necessarily make me special. It just, I think, makes me the only one with a dance background. But if you do want to come out and support the dancers, there are, you can see me if you really want to, but there are some absolutely incredible dancers from the local area, local companies that come out and perform and put on an amazing show, and I am just honored to be able to share the stage with them. So I will be at Authors and Dancers. I will be at Bray this year. That's going to be fun. That's in Columbus in July, the Beyond the Read author event. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, the application is in. I will also be at the Detroit Book Festival, which honestly, from what I've heard, actually makes the Las Vegas Book Festival look pretty tiny. So if you're the weekend before Bray, which is, I believe, July 17th, again, I'll get these dates up, but it's huge. It's in the Eastern Market in Detroit. So keep your fingers crossed for me. I will be hopefully attending that one. Even if I'm not in it, I might actually come in early and just check it out, because maybe in a future year if I don't get in this year. But I will do what I can, hopefully, and I will be seeing you guys out there. By then, I will have at least a couple of books out, because both Lust and Yearbook will be due out by then. I've got so many books. I've got another standalone thriller. I have potentially, and this will make my mom happy, the first Voices series is slated right toward the end of the year. If I can't get it in at the end of this year, it'll be early next year. But I am working to get it in this year. And then also the first of the Reverse Harem trilogy, which is a co-author, Kenzie Knight and Nikayla Rose. So that should be on the docket for this year as well. And then either another standalone thriller or the first of another co-write, another 5-book series between Mackenzie and Nikayla. So I've got a lot going on. And then as you guys know, I'm doing the whole brand ambassador thing this year. People keep calling me influencer, which I'm debating on how I feel about that, because I did start the whole birdfluencer thing with Poe as sort of a joke, making fun of influencers, and I guess I sort of became one, which is weird. But I am honored to be representing so many very cool brands this year. I have some fashion brands, which I think is almost kind of hilarious that they picked me. I'm not exactly what you would consider a model, but I'm excited to give it a shot and to see what everybody thinks. They are very cool pieces. They've shown me what they're sending me, and I get to wear. And then, of course, the fitness brands, if nothing else, being able to get out and, take the pictures and the videos to show off how they work and test out the gear will get me in the gym. And I'm looking forward to that. Once this medication is out of my system, I'll be able to go even harder at the gym. Right now, I'm just sort of kind of doing what I can, but I think that's a big part of it. Continue pushing, continue doing things. Don't let something completely stop you. Just find a way to work around, do what you can, understand your body, listen to your body. Push, go to uncomfortable, but don't go to pain. I remember a quote from a TV show that I used to watch, and they're talking about doing yoga for the first time, and you want to push your body to uncomfortable, but do not push all the way to pain. So get out of the comfort zone, keep trying new things, keep pushing yourself, keep challenging yourself. My writing deadlines do that to possibly an extreme extent. They might push me to mental pain a little bit, but they've also always come through for me. So I'm going to keep pushing on those. And from the physical side, I am working on that half marathon training, so I'll be doing that. Even if I have to just crawl across the finish line, I am almost more determined now that I've been dealing with all the side effects of the medication and feeling like I just kind of want to take a nap all the time. I think it's important to continue pushing, to continue trying, to do what you can to just sort of keep moving. It's so easy to want to just give up and have the excuse and say, I can't do it. I'm tired, I'm weak, I'm dealing with these side effects. That's very easy. It's easy to do. I want to do it. I want to do it a lot, trust me. But I think it's important to not let yourself fall into that trap, to keep trying, to keep pushing, and even if it's a little bit, even if it's an extra 200 steps a day, just something that keeps you going. You feel so accomplished when it's done, and I think that kind of helps. You're like, okay, I don't feel like I can, but I'm just gonna push just for a little bit, and then I can rest, and then you feel like, wow, okay, I did that, I can do that, and then once that becomes habit, then you push a little further and a little further. So it's just a way to keep kind of motivating yourself, and I think even that little bit of motivation can really snowball. I finished that deadline and I'm like, wow, I did that. Like when I wrote Partners in Crime, it seemed impossible and seemed insane. I had 22 days. There's no way I can get it done. I wrote that book in 8 days, guys. Once I got the flow, once it got going, and every day I'm looking at that word count just skyrocketing higher and higher, I'm like, oh my God, I can do this. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, I still have like 2 weeks left. I'm done. I did it. That's such a cool feeling. And then now I know that. Now I know I can do that. Don't try to do that every time, please. It's not a recommendation at all, but with like fitness and, just go for a walk. If you got a dog, take your dog out for a little bit of a longer walk. If you've got a little bike at home, jump on the bike and try to go for an episode of Big Bang Theory or Friends or Hell's Kitchen or whatever it is you watch. And then maybe tomorrow or next week, try 2 episodes. Just a little bit further. Just keep pushing a little bit more. That's what I'm kind of focusing on for this month. It's, even though I'm building on last year's momentum, I also recognize the fact that I've shifted gears. I'm doing something different. So I'm kind of continuing with the feeling, but readjusting for the actuality. And then once I start getting into a little bit better shape, like right now I'm just setting like step goals for each month and trying to get ready for that half marathon. There's a bike ride that I love to do in August that I'm hoping to do, and it's a small one. I know 25 miles if you're not a cyclist doesn't sound like a lot, or it sounds like a lot. For me, it's not. I have done 100-mile rides, and so just getting back on the bike and getting out there and enjoying the fresh air. It's in San Diego, which is absolutely stunning, and Bike the Bay does an amazing job. So I'm hoping to be back out there in August and doing that one again. If you're a cyclist and you do want to come out, I highly recommend that one. It's a lot of fun. And other than going over the Coronado Bridge, which I'm absolutely terrified of, I hate bridges over water. They freak me out. However, they don't paralyze me. They put me into like top gear. So I go from, I can barely ride to all the way up. Hi, Felicia. Good morning. That bike ride, I go from like struggling to catch my breath to Olympian level for like 5 seconds as I go across the Coronado Bridge. Once I get to the other side, I chill back out. But this is a ride that people do in like board shorts and flip-flops. It's a super easy ride. It's a lot of fun. So if you are into cycling or even just want to give it a shot, it's a really easy, fun one to do. And it is down in San Diego, Chula Vista area, so it's absolutely stunning. I'm hoping to be out there. I'm looking maybe one more challenge, although with the exception of the Detroit Book Festival, fingers crossed, and Bray, I am taking the summer off. I know that I'm always, in the past, been doing like a crazy amount of signings, especially local signings. This year with Coffee House Tours becoming Turning Pages, with us moving to more of like a resource and reference, I will be doing some local signings, but they won't be that every other weekend, always doing something, trying to stay on top of doing something all the time. I might do one every couple of months. And so I'm taking the summer off. I'm hoping to get out there and do some camping and some hiking and all of the amazing, wonderful outdoor activities I've kind of missed out on for the past several years. And if you're from here, if you're from the Las Vegas area, you know we have a stunning scenery. Yes, it's 110 degrees, but that's what the mountains are for. We love to hike. We love to get outside. We're a very outdoorsy community here, and I would like to be a part of that again. So I am planning to rejoin that world this year. So yet another goal. It's not really a checklist kind of thing so much as just the goal is to be more involved in the community, spend more time with my friends, and actually have some like actual personal me go do some fun things kind of time. Who knows, maybe I'll go to Six Flags or Universal or something. That's another thing I haven't done in years. So I'm looking forward to kind of reestablishing, I guess, a work-life balance. I already have the day job and then of course the writing job. And I tend to get very wrapped up in that and not have a lot of balance and a lot of like me time. And while I admit I'm not good with me time and like downtime, and anybody who's known me for very long knows that, I definitely tend to fill idle time, but I'm hoping to fill it with more fun activities, more hiking and more exploring and going to museums and just different fun things that don't require meeting a deadline or hitting a personal record or something like that. So I've got a lot going on this year, and honestly, I hope you do too. I hope you've got like a million things you're trying to accomplish, and I hope you hit every single one of them. I hope it's like August and you go, crap, I finished it all. Now I've got to come up with new stuff. Don't go crazy to the point where you feel like you haven't, accomplished anything. You don't want to push yourself so far that you feel like you're letting yourself down if you don't accomplish things. But just like I said, outside the comfort zone, a little added motivation, a little something to reach for. One of my absolute favorite quotes is shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you land among the stars. It's kind of something that I've thought about many times where, again, crazy checklist. It looks insane. Now, some of that is stuff for this month. Some of that is stuff that I'll be working on all year. But let's say that I only get like 3/4 of that done. That's 3/4 of all of that stuff done. That is a ton of stuff that right now I haven't done. But I will get it done, and I'll look back and go, okay, I didn't accomplish these 6 things, but I got these other 18 things done. And so I think we get kind of wrapped up a lot of times, and that's end of year tends to be that reflective time. And so last week, that was one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to talk about the goals that I did and didn't accomplish then, is I think it's so easy to go, I made this whole list and look at all these things I didn't get done. Look at all these things I didn't accomplish. I get it. I do. My mom can attest to this. I am the queen of beating myself up because I set a target and I didn't hit it. Prime example, my very first 10K. I hate running, by the way. And I know the irony that I'm training for a half marathon when I hate running, but that is thanks to Jimmy and his ability to convince me to do things. And I appreciate him. I really do. Because without him, I wouldn't be trying this thing that seems impossible and getting out there and pushing myself. So, but the very first 10K, I trained. And for me, I really trained. Like, I was in the gym every day, every other day. I was pushing myself. I was timing myself. And I set a goal. I was going to do it in an hour and 10 minutes. For those of you who are runners, I am well aware of how slow that is. But again, not a runner. So I set this goal. And I missed. I missed it. I did it in an hour, 11 minutes, and 41 seconds. I missed it by a minute and 41 seconds. I'm not going to lie. I beat myself up for that extra minute 41 for like a month and a half. It was so frustrating because I was so close. I was so incredibly close. And I kept thinking, oh man, if I had just run a little faster here, or if I'd been able to maintain my breathing and not slow down here. You know what? I did it. That was 6.2 miles. I hate running and I still did it. So that, you know, and I was so close. If I hadn't trained, if I hadn't pushed myself, if I hadn't set that goal, who knows how long it would have taken me. So there's really no way to know on that one. So celebrate the win. I crossed that finish line. I've got the medal and I've done it. It was actually so much fun, that particular event. I went back and I did it again. So you don't have to hit the mark every single time. Cross the finish line. It doesn't have to be in the right time frame. Set the goal, and sometimes you set a goal and you don't end up finishing that goal because it wasn't the right goal, but you find the right one along the way. I set a goal for writing a certain number of books, and I ended up I think I only got half of them that one year. But I discovered a whole new genre that I love to write. I discovered a whole bunch of ideas for other series, and I spent so much time developing what is now becoming my actual author career that time was such a better investment than actually penning those other couple books, that I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that distraction, for that little side note. It's such a cool thing to be able to say, okay, I set this goal and that was not the right goal, but look at this other cool path that I found. You know, I was walking along this path and I thought I was heading to the right destination, but the detour ended up being so much better. A detour is not a failure. It's just another way to go. It's just another path. Sometimes that detour is put there for a reason. And I'm a big fan of exploring the detours. So I'm still working on that. I'm accepting that while the list, you know, I know I keep showing it, but I think it's more because it's daunting me at the moment. And I just need somebody else to understand that when I look a little frazzled a couple times a year, that's why, that list right there. Because again, monthly list and overall yearly list. But I love doing it. I love setting these goals and having the checklist, and there's just something fun about, like, whenever you get on there and you get to cross a couple things off and you're just like, I did that. A friend of mine used to tell me, get up every morning, make your to-do list, and make sure you add make the bed, but don't do it until after you've made the bed. That way you can cross something off right away. Or make the list, but make put to-do list on the list. No matter what, you've always crossed something off. And there's something really validating about crossing those things off the list. So whatever works for you, whether it's throwing on the best music and saying, I'm gonna finish washing the dishes in 6 songs. I don't know how many dishes you have, but whatever you're doing, you know, have that thing that helps you go, I did it, I accomplished that, I'm gonna keep going. For me, it's making the bed. That one's always worked for me. And I didn't used to make my bed. I'm like, I'm just gonna get back in it anyway, what does it matter? But there's something kind of fun about coming back and pulling the covers and sliding into bed at night. So every morning I get up and I make my bed, and then I put on the list, make the bed, and cross it off. So my daily list is always fun. Or I set something super easy, like go get gas, because I know I have to get gas if I'm going to run any errands. I always have that one thing I know I can cross off right away. And even same thing with the year. The list that I have, my monthly list, there's a bunch of stuff like this video is on that list. So when I get done and I get to say, you know, goodbye until next week, I'm going to cross it off. And it'll be an accomplishment. I already have the newsletter prepped, so I get to cross that off as soon as I hit send, but it's already done. It's already ready to go with just a couple little minor adjustments that I get to make. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things that I set up, especially at the beginning of each month, just to sort of keep me going. And then there's the harder things. There's like making sure I get to the gym, making sure that I get a certain amount of workouts, making sure I get certain writing things done, or trying to maintain posting. I'm trying to be more active and involved in the signing groups. So if you are attending Books and Chocolate, Book Blessed in Dallas or Seattle, Bray, you will, hopefully, fingers crossed. This is a challenge one for me. You'll be seeing more from me this year. So hopefully I'll be more engaged with that kind of stuff. Same thing with Mackenzie's Raven Readers. I'm trying to come up with more content. I'm one of those people where I read what other people are doing all the time, and I try to engage with them in their reader groups, but then I always feel like all the stuff I'm doing is kind of silly. I'm like, nobody would care about that. So I'm not the greatest at sharing in my own group. So I'm working on that. I'm working on sharing some fun things, coming up with more things to share, along with just, the day-to-day, the chores and the gym and just getting things accomplished. So I encourage you to do the same. I encourage you to set those goals or make your to-do list or have your resolutions, whatever it is you're working on. And please let me know how you're doing. I want to be able to not only hear about it, but I want to be able to help celebrate with you. I want to, send you little thumbs ups and happy cheering emojis. I am a huge fan of gifs and emojis. So when you do something and you accomplish something later today, tell me that you hit your first goal. Tell me that, you made your to-do list, that very first to-do list. I want to celebrate with you. So throughout the year, I will be sharing my positivity posts over on my Renee Jean account as I have before. We're starting that over for the year. And again, thank you to Find the Good, who has been a huge supporter of that. You'll see a bunch of the brand stuff from, of course, Valara, from Just Strong, from Find the Good. And then as the new stuff comes in, we'll be celebrating those as well. So get ready to see a lot of this space. It'll be scary, I know, but I have some cool ideas for a couple of this fashion things, because I'm not a fashion person. Obviously, this is what I look like all the time. Well, have a good day, Felicia. Thank you so much for joining. It's always nice to see you jump in and say hi. And I swear, I will watch some of those TikTok videos you send. I'm terrible at getting on there, but thank you. I do see them, so thank you for sending them. I will be jumping on there a little bit more as well, so you can always catch me all over the place. I don't know if you want to see me all the time and be looking at this face all the time, but it'll be around, and these videos will continue. You guys have been so great, and so thank you for letting that be a continuing part of my goals for the year. And Poe, of course, his account will be sticking around. We are working on all of his coloring books and his stickers. A huge, huge thank you to Nellbell Art for getting that going for us. I'll actually be meeting with her, I believe, next week to sit down and go through all the team post stuff. So he's another big part of the goals list this year. We've got a lot coming up, and I can't wait to share it with you, share the progress, as well as see all of yours. I know that together we are going to accomplish some amazing, amazing things this year, and I can't wait to get started. So I'm going to go actually do that and see what the day brings. I will talk to you guys soon. Until next week, stay confident.